with the Miss Jenbel as always. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. So I know normally Tuesdays I would be doing my series review, which would be Bates Motel. I figured since we are kind of in between seasons, I was going to take the time to do a quick tag video that I was tagged in like a month ago by none other than the horror freak himself, the horror freak 85, Steven. So yes, I figured, I would finally do this. Steven, I am so sorry. I know that I told you yesterday that I was finally getting to this. Thank you for being so patient with me on this. I know he had nominated like Cashier One and stuff. I'm really not gonna like tag anyone in this. If you guys want to kind of do this on your own, more power to ya. So basically, this is gonna be a decades tag. Kind of listing some of your favorite horror movies from each decade. I think Steven did like 80s up to the present. I think maybe possibly the 70s. I think, but whatever. You can do kind of like whatever like you want. If you want to do just like 80s, 90s, 00s, and the 2010s, that's fine, or whatever. Have some fun with this, you guys. Have some fun with this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go through my list here. Now I just kind of put like a couple movies, a few movies, for each decade and everything. I mean, there's tons more from each decade that I could have listed, but literally, I didn't think you guys would want like an hour and a half video. So, plus two, my gears are kind of turning in my head. This may be one of those kind of like swap out videos every now and then, meaning like, hey, maybe I'll do like, talk about like a specific decade once in a while, or like, decade oriented movies that I really enjoy. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. But anyway, let's go ahead and crack into this. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the 50s. Yes, the 50s. Only one movie from the 50s, but I mean, there are so many other movies from the 50s that I do genuinely enjoy. The one I picked, though, is the original House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price. That is just such a fun one. Every time I watch that one, I have so much fun with it, and it's still, I feel like, I think even in my review, I think I even kind of said something similar of like, I still feel like it's still very effective. It's still kind of scary. It's got some decent little jump scares, those 1950s jump scares. Fun movie. Let's move on to the 60s. From the 60s, I only picked two movies. But once again, I wanted to give the earlier decades a little bit of lovin'. But what I chose from the 60s is Psycho. I mean, hello, obviously, Psycho, come on. Psycho and Night of the Living Dead. Yes, not the original Night of the Living Dead. I do actually also really enjoy the 1990 Tom Savini remake. One of the few remakes that I actually do enjoy. But no, like the original Night of the Living Dead. I mean, what is there to say about this movie that hasn't already been said before? It is so well done, so effective, so many social commentaries and everything in that movie, just all around, involving like Vietnam War, the conflict of like the human race and everything, society, and just even like a little bit of racial tones to it, everything, and a little bit of like social aspects about that and everything. But yeah, it's just a fantastic little film. It is one, and also too one of the few zombie movies that I actually enjoy. So, moving on to the 70s. So, 70s, we're gonna start off with Suspiria. The original Suspiria. I know I don't really talk about that movie a whole lot. It's one of those movies that I can't, like, I love watching, but I can't watch it on a regular basis. I don't know why, and it's not like a disturbing film. It's not a bad film. It's just one of those that, it's kind of like one of those that I just like to pull out every once in a while and enjoy every so often, You guys feel me on that? You guys feel me on that? I think you do. I mean, and obviously another movie that I have to have on here, this very, like, kind of like the token one, like, God forbid I didn't put this one on here. The original Halloween, yes. I mean, I have to. It's one of those first horror movies that I remember seeing as a kid that really has made me fall in love with horror movies and stick with my beloved horror movies and everything. It is such a classic. I know there's a few people out there who don't enjoy Halloween. They think it's overhyped and everything. I respect that. I get that, man. I ain't gonna argue on that, with you on that. I really am not, you know, because like I've said before, so many of these movies can really be kind of considered overrated. I'm just saying, don't hate on me. I'm just saying, I see both sides. I see both sides. Don't know what that was. Another one that I truly enjoy from the 70s, another one that I feel like should not be really much of a surprise, is Black Christmas, my favorite Christmas movie of all time. It really is. A terrific cast. Got Margot Kidder, the late great Margot Kidder, Olivia, God, can I not talk today? Olivia Hussey's in it. It's a terrific cast. Love the story. Love that it's left open-ended. We have no idea who the hell this guy was. Yeah, sorry, spoilers. Why he freaking, did any of this. We don't know any of that. Like, we don't. I don't feel bad about doing a spoiler on that, because it's from the damn 70s. And I didn't really ruin the remake for you, because I know they explain shit in that one. Whatever. I'm not going to start a war. Anyway, let's move on to the 80s. The 80s. So we're going to get this one first two right out of here, because I feel like a lot of you guys probably already going to know this is going to be on my thing, because I always like to talk about this movie, and it's Sleepaway Camp 1 and 2. Love those movies. I'm thinking about revisiting those and reviewing those movies again, and maybe doing a proper, franchise review. I don't know, because I know I have analyzed those, especially those first two movies, literally to death, no pun intended, but I do love those movies. Obviously, I need to also put Friday the 13th on there, and A Nightmare on Elm Street, just because, once again, those are two movies that helped me really kind of fall in love with the genre. Some of my earliest memories are of seeing those movies along with Halloween, as I just mentioned. Love those movies. Also, too, I have to put this on here. I know I didn't put the first one on for the 70s in the 70s section, but I don't know why, but I have to put Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 on here. I don't know why. I know it's kind of one of those movies where it's you either really love it or you really kind of don't like it, because it's so kind of strays from the series and everything, but I love the humor and everything, and I'm sorry, that chainsaw scene in the radio station, that is freaking hot. I'm just saying. I get turned on with that scene, oddly enough. I don't even know why. What's wrong with me? I don't want to be fucked by a chainsaw, but damn, that's hot, dude. And those little Daisy Dukes. Just saying. Anyway, moving on. So also from the 80s, Creepshow 2, obviously, love those movies. First anthology movies that I've ever seen, and fell in love with them, with anthologies themselves. Love them. Another one that I have to bring up, I know it's not technically, it's put in the horror section many a times, but technically not a true horror movie, but one that I always am trying to pimp out and everything. A nice classic little ghost story, whodunit murder mystery, and that is Lady in White with little Lucas Haas. Yes, oh my god. For those of you, I know I've done a review on that movie a couple of times on this channel. If you guys have never seen Lady in White, go watch Lady in White. It is family friendly all around, man. So if it's, especially with Halloween coming up soon, you want to, get your kids in the mood for a little something, they're asking to watch something scary and something spooky, you can show them this movie. They will love it. It is okay for all ages. I'm just saying. Also from the 80s, rounding out the decade, Night of the Creeps, and of course, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Let's move on to the 90s. Sorry, this video is going to be longer than I was expecting. Whatever, you guys know I like to talk about my movies. So from the 90s, first one up, pretty obvious, I feel, for those of you who really kind of know me and kind of follow me on social media and stuff. Candyman, yes, from 92 with Mr. Tony Todd and Miss Virginia Madsen. Oh my god. Every time I watch that movie, it still creeps me out. It does. Like, it doesn't scare me, but it creeps me out. And, oh my god, Tony Todd is amazing in that movie. Amazing. I'm just saying. Another one that I absolutely love and so excited. Just like, I just realized, literally, I think with the exception of one, I would have to consult my list, but literally everything from the 90s I picked is literally being released by Scream Factory very soon. So, yeah. So, I'm just saying. But, Candyman. Or, no, I just did Candyman. Now, next one up, is Urban Legends. Love that movie. I adore that movie. I am so excited that this is finally getting a proper Region A, Blu-ray release, and I'm so glad that it is from Scream Factory. I mean, this is just one of those fun, like, sort of 90s movies that definitely came out after, like, Scream and stuff, so it has some of that influence of Scream and everything, and that, like, late 90s type of vibe, but this one, like, whenever I watch it, I don't necessarily feel like I'm watching, like, a Scream ripoff or a Scream, esque or influenced movie, but it is a fun one to watch. It is. Third one up from the 90s, our token female horror movie. I think I said horror. I don't even know. It sounds like I'm saying horror anyway, so I don't know why I care right now. But that is The Craft. Yes, our kind of like female empowerment movie and everything. Like I said, it's a very chick flick movie, but I love it. I know a lot of guys really enjoy this movie, and I love that. I love that the guys do really appreciate this movie as well. I feel like, okay, so, you know, we can do, even back in the mid-90s, us women can, you know, try our hand, nice female cast, nice female empowerment and everything, and you guys support us in it, so thank you for that, you guys. And last but not least, from the 90s, Jacob's Ladder. This was the movie I was kind of like, I think it might, actually, no, I don't think it is. I don't think this one yet is being released by Scream Factory. Like I said, I know I've got my little list of movies that I'm literally trying to buy myself and also asking for Christmas. But whatever. Let's move on to the OOs. So OOs got a couple of movies. So first one up is Valentine, which I'd finally seen for the first time last October, maybe after October. That is just a fun little movie. This is another one of those, like, it's so, like, tail end of, like, that Scream, initial Scream sort of, like, inspired movies and everything, and you totally feel that in this movie and everything, the influence of, like, Scream and everything, but it's genuinely a fun little movie. So many red herrings, but it's, like, such an obvious, like, you obviously know who the killer is at the end, but, you know, it keeps trying to, like, trick you a little bit. It is a fun one to watch. Next one up is one that I kind of, like, we actually got from Horror Pack, I think my first DVD Horror Pack, not, like, the first, Horror Pack DVD pack, but, my first one, this is one that really kind of grew on me over time. Like, I initially hated this movie, but I would kind of keep thinking about it, would watch it, warmed up a little bit to it again, and then I watched it again, warmed up even more, so it kind of has grown on me, and that movie is Cry Wolf. Yeah, it's another one of those, it's kind of like Valentine, it's kind of like, you know, it's really not the greatest, but there's certain little things about it that I like. It's got its own little, like, quirks about it that makes it work for me. It does, it really does. So, next one up is one that I know is probably on a lot of people's lists. I think this was on Steven's, probably even, the other Steve over at Cashier One, and that is Trick or Treat. Like, yeah, hello, Anthology, come on, you know I love Anthology. So, and last one up, last but not least of the OOs is the first Saw movie. Yeah, the first Saw movie I really do enjoy. I think we could have had that first Saw movie and been okay, not had like really all the sequels, but money in Hollywood. Love that first one though. And then finally, the 2010s. We're moving on up to the east side. I don't know where that came from. I really don't. I never really watched The Jeffersons. I'm not bashing it though. It's a good show. Seen a couple episodes. Anyway, so it's 2010s. First one up, another one I have to credit Horror Pack for sending out. This was I think my first pack, actually, my first Blu-ray pack. Volumes of Blood. Popped that in, wasn't expecting much from it, but oh my god, love it. I mean, I even like the second one too, I really do. Also, I really enjoy from the 2010s, The Barn. That is such a nice little touching throwback to the 80s. It is. Those of you who have not seen The Barn yet, oh my god, you need to watch it. It's just fun. It is fun. Another anthology movie on my list here, which is 1031, very recent. That's still, I think that's like the most recent. No, maybe it's not the most recent. I could be wrong as I'm like looking at the rest of my list. But no, it's one of the more recent ones. Duh, obviously, we're talking about the 2010s. But yeah, no, that's a fun little anthology. It is so much fun. It's, got something for everyone, like most anthologies do. So, another anthology on here, which I feel like a lot of people, this is another one where a lot of us really are digging this one, and really talk this one up, and that is Tales of Halloween. I need to watch that again soon, like before my binge, because yeah, I don't think I could make it till October without at least popping this in one more time. Yeah, I love that one. Got it for Christmas a couple of years ago from my mom. I wanted to see it. I'm like, I might as well just get it in my collection. Popped it in that night, and it just fell in love with it. Now the last two might be a little surprising for some of you because they're both found footage movies, and you guys know I'm always like, found footage, but and I know not everyone loves these two movies. It does have quite a bit. Both of them have quite a bit of love from people, but like I said, I know not everyone's on board with it and stuff. I respect that. I get it. Because once again, like I said, they're found footage. I'm so over kind of found footage stuff, along with like I said, like exorcism type movies and like paranormal, or just like these paranormal activity type movies. Like, I'm so over them, but every so often, and this is why I watch them, because every so often I find one or two that I'm like, I kind of actually like. First one up is Houses That October Built. The first one. I still have not seen the second one yet. I know I want to watch the second one. But yeah, that is just a really fun one with like, about like haunted houses and everything. Actually, even the next one, that's kind of giving away what the last one is. But I don't know. I think it's just because I feel like it was like better utilized. It made more sense. With this found footage, that it would be set in like a haunted house and everything. Perfect. I'm not saying like the movie's perfect. It's got its flaws, but just the idea behind it is really like, I think is pretty perfect setting for found footage. And last but not least on this list, if you couldn't guess, couldn't tell by my pretty much giveaway, it is Hell House LLC. Now, I watched this for the first time earlier this year. It's another one where it's like set in like a haunted house, one of those like haunted house attractions and everything. And like I said, I feel like it's one of those movies where it's just like the setting. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a ripoff of Houses That October Built, if you think about it. But once again, it's like I feel like they kind of utilized it pretty well. I know a lot of people, their complaints is like, oh, it's the same tropes and everything. Like, oh, okay, yeah, clown, like, suddenly has his head in a different position. Ooh, like, yeah, I know, but for me, I feel like, okay, it kept it pretty simple, and it worked. It worked for this one to keep it kind of simple, but have just a little bit of, like, of something going on. So, but that is my decades tag, you guys. Like I said, I'm not really gonna tag anyone on this or anything. Plus, I know a lot of people have already done this. But if you guys want to do it, totally feel free to go ahead and do it. I love to hear some of your guys' thoughts and like some of your favorite movies and everything, because it gives me a chance to maybe discover something new and learn something a little more about you guys and everything. So I'm just saying. But thank you guys so much. Sorry, Steven, for taking forever on doing this. I know there's, I think, at least one other tag that I got to do from my sister from another Mr. Jen. I'm sorry. I know there is a tag. I think you tagged me in. I know, I will do it. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.